The one part of it that stuck out to me was the year 2030, where the grant of rights with ESPN and all that stuff, that ends technically in 2036. But in 2030, the buyout becomes significantly less for teams to get out of the ACC. And most importantly, I think 2030 is the year that lines up when the other two conferences are going to have to re-up with ESPN. I think the SEC, or was it the Big Ten? One of the two?
It was a little bit later, but the Big Ten, the Big 12, and the college football playoff TV deals all right around 2030 come up for renegotiation.
So they wanted Clemson and Florida State wanted the ability to, if necessary, basically bolt and go to the Big Ten or wherever they needed to go with the shifting landscape of college football and college athletics in general. My question to you was, if I'm reading everything right, and correct me if I'm wrong, if I'm reading everything right and kind of looking at all this, the only way really the ACC can actually generate more money between now and 2030 would be to add more teams, because the more teams they add, ESPN has to continuously add more to the deal. Do you feel when you're reading through this that there's a possibility of ACC expansion, that they might actually, I don't know, go try to raid the Big 12?
Well, you know the deal. The reason expansion usually happens is that there's a school out there that can add more to your bottom line than they would take away as one more mouth to feed, right? Like when the old Big 12 had two super heavyweights, and it was Texas and Oklahoma. And sure enough, the SEC gobbled those two up. The old Pac-12 had four schools that made a lot of money. It was Southern Cal, UCLA, Washington, and Oregon. Sure enough, the very wealthy Big Ten gobbled up all four of them. What's happening now is that there are not as many schools left that would add value to the ACC or anybody else. That's why I would be skeptical about the ACC expanding. You never say never. And there's even, talks of whether the ACC and the Big East should have an alliance of some kind, if not realignment with basketball, just as to focus on that product of those two great hoops leagues.